everyone. Welcome back to Black on the Platform Live, where we spotlight Black entrepreneurs, authors, and leaders who are moving the culture forward and making wellness, wealth, and wisdom more accessible to our communities. I'm your host, Jen S., founder of Black on the Platform, your go to directory and community for Black owned businesses. If it's your first time joining us, please drop your name in the chat and let us know where you're tapping in from. And to our returning viewers, welcome back. We see you, we appreciate you, and we're so glad you're part of this movement. We're also very glad that you bared with us as I got through some of the technical challenges before we began today. So let's see who's in the house with us. Oh, good. You guys have been here all along, just waiting for me to show up. Love it. Hello, everyone. Hello. I know you understand, Mia. You and I, we be making it through though, right? Okay. Well, thank you, family, for showing up. And speaking of family, I'm really excited about this conversation today. Um, all, all much love and respect to my family, my cousin. Um, the work that she's doing here is highlighted in care, dignity, and making a real impact. I'm honored to welcome Sandra Johnson of Legacy Programs, who's doing powerful work supporting adults with intellectual disabilities through community integration and person centered care. So let's give a warm welcome.
Hello, 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 everyone.
So, I have been just eager to have you on today, and I'm so glad we were able to make some time out, carve out a little bit of time so we can have some heart to heart conversations. So, for those just meeting you, tell us who you are and the heart behind Legacy Programs.
Well, first of all, of course, thank you for the platform and the opportunity to be on your show. Believe it or not, I've done interviews before, but this is the first time I'm nervous. I don't know it's because we're cousins or what, but I am a little nervous. But my name is Sandra Ann Johnson. The name of the company I started is Legacy Programs Incorporated. It's was born in 2022. How I got started is probably God's purpose. I fell into this. I always wanted to be a teacher when I was younger, and I actually was in government work for over 25 years. And I made a decision that took me down a different path, and I've always had this yearning, innate care about myself for others, and I always wanted to live a life of purpose on purpose. I have a sister who's part of the disability community and a nephew that's part of the disability community. And so it kind of was a natural thing to gravitate towards it. Didn't know I would love it as much as I do, but now I'm glad that God saved the best for last in providing this type of support services for an underserved population.
And I can testify to the fact that you are a warm hearted person who really does show love and care to all people. And so your students and your staff are lucky and blessed to have you. And tell them to stop blowing you up so you can do this interview.
That's what I'm trying to do now is turn off this phone. You must know I'm multitasking
I
here.
know,
I'm like,
I
oh,
know.
let's
And
not
you
be
have
rude here.
cousin Tisha's in the chat talking about Sophie Lynn said hi, best friend. So you
Hey, best friend.
and I have my twin in the chat too. I see her welcoming you. So tell us about you. You mentioned that you used to do other things. So what personal or professional experiences led you to do this work? You mentioned having a sibling, but what really pushed you to the calling?
The calling was out of necessity, actually, was I got to a place in my life. I didn't know what I was going to do. I had to start my life all over again. And I prayed over it and asked God to provide the insight that I would need for my next decision. A friend of mine has working for a company similar to Legacy, and I had got an opportunity to see firsthand what they do, and I was drawn to it right away. And the only way you really can do what you love to do is work for yourself. I mean, you should know. I'm not sure you know that firsthand doing the podcast that you're doing now. Is it just gives you a sense of a purpose that's greater than any job you could ever work for or anyone you could work for. And so it just called to me. And giving, I used to coach girls basketball, so I've always had a coach's mentality, which is to uplift, coach, inspire, and motivate others. And they're no different. Adults with disabilities are no different than anyone else in that they need that same type of coaching. And so that mentorship began. And here we are 3 years later.
That's beautiful, cousin. I want to know from the audience. I've been struggling for the past three interviews with an echo, and so I want to try to adjust the sound level so that um, I'm not there's not an echo. Let's see if I can. Oh, I see what it is. Maybe it's us. Well, let me know in the chat if that's any better as we proceed. Uh, and yes, I definitely agree about um, starting your own business and making your vision come to life. It takes a lot of dedication, but it is hard work. And so I definitely can relate to that.
Mhm.
Um, and your focus around, let's see what they said. Oh, nope, just another hello. Let me know if you hear echo once we begin. But so legacy program centers community integration and person-centered care. What does that look like in real life for the people that you're serving, for your students?
So real life, those who have been around this for a while, it used to be called day programs. So this actually came about back in what 1965 is when the Lanterman Act came about, and it was created so that adult or individuals with disabilities would not have to live what they call in walls, where they would just be in facilities locked up, as you used to see in maybe some prior old movies. And the whole basis was for them to have inclusive lives so that they live in the community that you and I live in, work in the community that you and I work in, and they become the very fabric of what we know as our culture. The whole idea was that when you see them, you can forge a relationship with them similar to anyone else that you could forge a relationship with. So, community integration looks like them being in your community and them being a part of your community, exposing them to resources that all of us are exposed to, but in a way that they understand that. So, we mentor to them, and we're called coaches. So, we're not referred to as staff members. We like to be referred to as coaches and them as students. Back in the 60s, there were staff and clients. Well, clients implies something's wrong or that they're sick or that they need something. But the truth of the matter is they don't need anything. They just require support, and they may take a little bit longer to process things than you and I do. And that's where we come in as coaches. The person-centered planning component of it is just that. The plans that we develop are around the person. They're not facility or organizational or anything that's boilerplate. Is the individuals come to us that we go through a questionnaire to find out truly what is their interest, what are their goals, what are the things that they want to expand on in their life. It could be anything from living independently of where they are now, getting a job, building relationships, being married, and even having families. And what we do is develop a plan based on those goals. We currently have three students now that are in college that we support them through their classes. We have two students.
Congratulations.
Thank you. We have two students that are what we call have integrated employment, which means they work somewhere next to someone who doesn't have a disability. And they have job coach, which means a coach is with them on site to help support them to learn the academics of the skill that they need to be successful at that job. The other students we have, it's mostly social programming. So we build social programs around them. And so that's what person-centered support looks like.
And person-centered, it sounds to me like you have established community, you've given them choice, and you provided them with dignity that other care facilities, and instructional support and so many layers to the work that you're doing. It's just beautiful. And yes, there's congratulations in the chat for the work you're doing. Can you
Thank
share
you.
how your program actually helps the participants build independence and real world life skills?
So I'm glad you asked about that real world life skills because that's the focus. So what we provide job coaching opportunities. So within the program itself, we assist you in getting employment by way of doing an actual onboarding experience. We teach them how to fill out job applications, how to onboard with filling out simple forms for hiring, like emergency contact, W-4s, and I-9s. We expose them to what they would see in a real world setting when they begin their employment. We take them through an employee manual, what that looks like, what expectations look like, how to follow guidelines and things like that, which would be expected of them. We try to take them through the day to day of what employment would look like at a pace that they can go so that when they get into an integrated employment setting, then they're ready to go without as much delay as possible. The other part of that support looks like in real world environment is we take them actually out into the community. So we build monthly activity calendars. We do at least every month 4 major activities. We go bowling, golfing, we go to some type of museum education, and then we also do gym memberships. Anyone that joins legacy programs is afforded an opportunity of a gym membership. And that means they work out alongside someone like you or me. And again, we're talking about community integration where you would see someone with a disability who you don't recognize their inability. You just recognize someone next to you working out. And that's the whole core value of what we do is that when you see in them, you don't see the difference. You just see a person. And that's the goal of the program in that real world setting.
That's beautiful. I love it. One of the things about Black on the Platform is that um, the idea is that we are impacting all the dimensions of wellness. And so that's physical, spiritual, intellectual, professional. And to me, it sounds like your participants, your students are getting that full package as well. And I think that is a testimony to the work that's heartfelt that you're doing. And so I see, all of the things that you're sharing, like, I've seen images of them doing art activities and getting out on field trips, and so can you tell us about, like, what does the day program kind of look like? What is, yeah, just a little bit about that.
A day in the life of?
Yeah,
Sure.
exactly.
Well,
You
let's
got it.
do that. So our program is comprised of also transportation. Some prior programs or day programs, we call them, they're called now Community Integration Training Program, CITP. And that's intentional because if you remember, maybe even not as far as 10 years ago, most of the day programs, all you saw them doing was riding in a van. You see them at the mall, you see them at the
Mhm,
library. But
mhm.
the intent was to provide some type of vocational skill building activities. Doesn't matter if they're not employable or not, it's the activity, which is that you're stimulating some type of intellectual means for them. So our pickups start, our staff starts at 7, our coaches start at 7 a.m. We begin transportation at 7:30. They arrive back at our corporate office at around 9. And at that time, we divide up into smaller groups based on goal setting, based on what the activity is for the day, based on adaptability for some of our students, cognitive and mobility wise. And then from 9 to 11:30, we're doing some type of skill acquisition or vocational skill building. And that looks different for each person. Today we had, interestingly enough, there was no skill building. We had a lip sync battle because that's all what they wanted to do. And that'll be posted on later on. So make sure you guys go to Legacy Programs Facebook and Instagram pages because you'll get to see those type of activities build confidence, build communication skills, and more importantly, it allows them the opportunity to kind of come outside of themselves. In an arena where other people are cheering them on and giving them encouragement. And so it was a lot of fun to do today. But inside of that, we take a lunch break for about 45 minutes, and then we go back into vocational skill building. Again, it looks very different for each of our students. We have 8 different groups. So we have a gardening crew, we have a music crew, a recreation group, we have a digital group, we have a home healthcare group where our students are learning home healthcare. And now Letitia has chimed in. Shout out to Glorified
Glorified
Hands,
hands?
Glorified Hands, who's also on the platform, who came and actually conducted a class for us, for our students, and teaching them how to take vitals. So anyone who's on online right now listening to this invaluable exposure you're getting right now to Black on the platform is please contact us. If you have a skill you'd like to share or you'd like to come up and do some volunteer, we would love that.
So
Go
hold on
ahead.
for a second. I'm seeing. Okay, let me try and do a mic test because um, I've heard from our viewing audience that there is a bit of an echo, and it's not. I don't know that it's you. I'm trying to monitor the sound levels when it goes. So let me see. Let me have you talk some more. So I'm jealous because one of the things I've always wanted to come and do. I met um, with Terry. We did some math lesson work together, and so I'm
Yes.
like lucky Tisha. But okay, let me see why the sound is. I think it's because I wonder if I take this off. Let me I might mess everything up, but let me try and see if I can. Okay, we're back. Let's see. Is it better? Let's hope it's better. Well, so okay, let me make sure our audience can hear us. Give me a thumbs up in the chat if you can hear because I did stop for a second there to try to fix the audio. Let's see. Testing, testing. Uh, let's see who can let me know. It's not as bad, but it's still there. Now, that was before I tried. You can hear me. Thank you, sis. I appreciate you, Mia. Much better? Okay, great. So I think I just didn't have noise cancellation checked. Okay, thumbs up from Tisha. All right, so you were telling us about Tisha coming in and doing some work with the students. You also mentioned opportunities for them to become more independent and also have some fun. And you said you guys are coaches. You're not calling them clients. So job coaching is a major part of your work. Why does employment matter so much for confidence and long-term stability for your participants?
The same as you and I, purpose and independence. Um, People need a reason to get up every day outside of wanting to just wake up and have a great breakfast. When you have some intention about your life, with somewhere to go and something to do, your life means something different to you. And again, it's no different than you and I. They require that same type of stimulation and that same type of purpose so they can live the best lives that they want to live. And that independence gives them choice because with that comes financial independence. Then they're able to do things on their own without having to have the support of an SSI check. They can do things on their own. About 35% of my students live on their own and
Wow.
still attend a day program. So they're in adjustable housing where their housing is based on their income from SSI, and then they work for us for supplemental income for their day to day. They have benefits. It would be something similar to Section 8 for someone without a disability. But they're living on their own. They may have staff come into their home to assist them with budgeting, maybe cooking skills or day-to-day skills that they need to live on their own. But then they come to our day program between the hours of, 8 and 2, and then those skills are further developed in our program. And then they're able to live independent lives, which is the goal.
I'm going to start muting myself when I am listening because I think my speaker, you're coming through my sound system possibly. But I love that. I love you give them purpose in many ways. And it sounds to me like it's an inspiration that they can come there and learn with you and build community and have structure in their day. um, and so I'm curious, well, I know I'm kind of leading this question, how legacy programs involves families, volunteers, and the broader community in the mission. I was able to witness on Facebook because I couldn't be there in person, unfortunately, the phenomenal fashion show extravaganza. So can you tell our viewing audience a little bit about how the community is built with the families and the volunteers and what that looks like?
Well, let's start with my family first. This is a family owned and operated nonprofit. At the helm is my mother, who is the chief executive officer, right? I have a family member that's on the board, it's on my board of directors. I have community leaders that's on my board of directors. I am the executive director. My partner, Tina Schmerber, she is the program manager who runs the day to day operations. I've known her for over 15 years. From there, my fiance actually works for the company as well. She is a CNA and she's one of our supervisors. I have another colleague that I've known for over 12 years who's one of our supervisors. Her name is Sharice. Actually used to be a WNBA player. Um, I have two other coaches that have been in the customer service field or have individuals they support directly. So the people who work at Legacy are part of the legacy. They are either have family members themselves that's been diagnosed with some type of disability and they are a caregiver for those individuals, or I've known them for over 10 years. And that's intentional because my most important commodity are the people we support. And I have to have the utmost trust in the people that work for Legacy because the value of who we are and what we do is really important to the students we support. The business itself, as far as volunteers, we have several family members. We have one of the mothers who actually comes and does a sewing class on Fridays. We have another mother who volunteers on Tuesdays to assist with our movie outings. We have a big fashion show we do every year that's produced by our students with the assistance of our board members and other family members that help them get dressed and get them prepared for it. So I think all around community wise, we've been well received within the community of the people that we support and their family members. What I'd like to see moving forward is the community itself getting more involved, people who know nothing about legacy, but which is why this type of platform is just so important. So thank you, because hopefully somebody else will watch it and say, hey, I want to get involved. This is something that I can attend to that is near and dear to my heart.
And
So hopefully we will
I do.
go
I
ahead.
promote you to people when they ask me. I'm always like, I have colleagues and friends who have adult
Hmm.
children with special needs, and I tell them about your program, and they love that it's centrally located in Los Angeles.
Hmm.
And they're,
Hmm.
and I asked you the other day, are you taking new students? And you said yes. So I constantly am promoting your business. And you talked about in the future what you would like to see. When you think about legacy, what impact do you hope this work has 5, 10, or 20 years from now?
It's in the name itself. It was intentional. It's the legacy. It's what we leave in people, that it's long lasting after I'm gone. It is legacy will be forevermore because the people we support, that we provide that support to, will become a part of their lives, and vice versa. Moving forward, I would like to see more community engagement, more businesses knowing who we are and making contributions, not necessarily financial. In a time where everyone's looking for support and help financially, we're just looking for recognition in the community that we're there and that we want you to know we're there and you can very much be a part of what we do. Your business could be helpful to some of our students. We have a lot of students who are looking to get in various forms of not just employment, but require different types of support. I'd love to partner with different people. In fact, we just partnered with a church and now we're doing janitorial services. So not only are they cleaning now our facility, so now they're actually in the community cleaning the church and getting that real life, real world experience work where they're getting exposed to other people and having to work in facilities outside of legacy. We'd love to partner with other people and branch out. If you're familiar with day programs, the goal is to get them employed and to get them integrated. So we're launching in the next 4 months or so legacy janitorial services. Well, our students will be able to have micro businesses and go out in the community and clean things, cleaned people's homes and commercial buildings and things of that nature and make money for themselves.
That is beautiful. I'm definitely looking forward to that. And I know you're speaking of a partnership differently, but I'm excited to partner with Legacy for our spring summit and have boots on the ground with visit, really going to the Black owned
Yeah.
businesses in Los Angeles with my clients and your team. And I'm
Hmm.
excited about that. Tell us, what are some of the biggest challenges you faced building and sustaining this heartfelt work?
Unfortunately, the current political climate is a part of that. Um, we get our funding from state and federal. The funding goes to local regional centers. There's 21 of them through the Department of Developmental Services, which is funded through federal government through the Medicaid waiver. Um, and every time a new president comes on board or new the political landscape shifts, then the first thing they look at is ways they can cut money. And typically it's through funding of programs similar to education. We rely on that funding through the Medicaid waiver program in order to operate. Right now, we're not receiving really any monetary donations. We'd like to get into peer-to-peer campaigns, fundraisings with other corporate sponsors, even if it's as simple to fund the groups that I've named previously or to fund special projects. We do 3 major trips a year that come out of our general budget. So we do one amusement park. This year we're going to San Diego. We'd love to partner with someone to try to fund that trip. We do the fashion show, which is a big financial support that we do that comes out of our pocket. The ticket prices is cost neutral. It's what the cost of it is to run the event. We don't. It's not a money maker for us at all. All our students get in free, so if anything, it's just to offset their ticket prices. The other thing is we do a winter event at whatever local place that the students pick all their activities. They're not picked by because it's about choice, as you alluded to earlier. So for us, it's really about providing opportunities that they desire through person-centered planning in the community of their choice.
That's beautiful. Um, It sounds like a lot of work because as I'm doing my very first summit with power networking team members, we looked at different venues, the AC Marriott and different businesses that we could bring on
Mhm.
board for vendors and sponsors. And my team like pulled my chain and was like, look, we want to make an impact in the community. It's not about networking and schmoozing and who's
Sure.
who. It's about going into these businesses, visiting them and supporting them. So I look forward to supporting legacy programs myself. And my next question, I'm asking these questions for my viewers because I already know the answers to this question, and I'm gonna just
Please,
say
please.
my question is what keeps you grounded and motivated on the hard days, but I know my cousin Terry is the one keeping you grounded and motivated on those hard days. But
Yes,
I'll let
ma'am.
you answer and give her flowers anyway because yeah, I see it firsthand.
Yes, absolutely. So, of course, my fiance, my partner, Terry. Also, I have a very strong team. Like my partner, Tina Schmerber, who's my business partner. When we started this 3 years ago, um, I was working for another day program provider and had built their business up, and it wasn't appreciated. And I stepped out on faith, and asked her. I said, "Hey, I'm ready to do this. Would you like to do this with me?" And she was 10 toes down, as they say, and ready to move forward. And then my partner Terry was being a CNA, that provided a level of security that I needed, that I knew the students would be well taken care of. Now that's the physical health part. Tina comes from a mental health background. So I had the right combination to get started that gave me the confidence. And of course, the almighty faith, man above, provided the opportunity. What keeps me grounded is my family, people like you, Letitia, my cousin Chris, my Dr. Pammy Christian, who also is on your platform, and with Phronesis Management. I have a lot of mentors within my family that help keep not only keep me grounded, but keep me encouraged. Like I said, I hit rock bottom in 2018. I didn't know what I was going to do. I had lost everything. But the one thing I never lost was my faith or my family. So I would have to say my parents also have great foundation with the Johnson legacy. Again, that's why I call it legacy. I think about the shoulders that I stand on. And I'm really appreciative and grateful for that. And it keeps me going because I know I'm never alone.
And that's one of my abouts. In my about us, it's all about the Johnson family, the cafe,
Yeah.
the community.
Yes.
We've been very blessed to have such a loving and supportive family. My twin is in the chat, uh, Corey. She said, "God's
Hey, cousin
calling."
Corey.
Yes, God's calling. You are a true blessing, and you are a true blessing. You've
Thank
as my
you.
big cousin, I've always looked up to you. Um, but one of my sisters, Mia, said it's so amazing what you've done in 3 years. And when you first started, you were over on Market Street in a smaller facility. Tell
No, when
us.
I first started, I had 3 students, a Jeep in my living room in
Okay, take it
2022.
back.
That's how we started. In April of 2000, actually in May, I walked away from my job and said, "I'm gonna do this." I went 6 months without any income, without really any idea how it was gonna get started, but I knew I had to jump out there on faith. And I had 4 families when I left that said that they would follow me wherever I went. And that's how I got started. Those 4 families paid for my very first office and paid for my very first van by way of wanting to be a part of Legacy. It takes most companies at least a year and a half to get their first because everything is referral based, which means my students come to me from the regional center. They're referred to me from the regional center. So the regional center has to know who you are and have some sense of faith or confidence in your abilities to refer their students because ultimately they're going to be responsible for that referral. So those 4 family members, shout out to Miss Charlene, may she rest in peace, Miss Isabella, Miss Griffith, and definitely Miss Charlotte. Those 4 women, I mention them in every speech I give when I do my annual fashion show. I call them my founding mothers, and they were the pillar in how I got started. And now we're 3 years later, 4 vans and 37 students. That's almost 10 students a year. It's super unheard of in this industry. And that's attributed to the great coaching staff that we have and the people that are around us.
I love it. And I know these people, not all of them, but many of them. And um, it's just a true blessing to have built a community of such amazing supportive staff. We don't call them staff coaches, and
Hmm.
families, really who see for their children, adult children, and those adult who come in on their own, like you said, they live on their own.
Hmm.
Both are really a testament to finding a space that is welcoming and inclusive, that gives them choice and
Hmm.
provides them. I'm over here texting your fiance, my cousin, to ask her if it's possible to turn on light. Yes, yes, there it is. I was like, because the sun is going down in that natural light. Um,
Yes, ma'am.
yeah, there we go. So, what would you say to someone who feels called to support or advocate for inclusive communities, but doesn't really know where to start or where to begin?
So I'm going to hit you with some statistics. Right now,
Okay.
one and out of every 4 children, adults, have some type of disability. In 1973, the Latterman Act expanded to include autism, cerebral palsy, epilepsy. Prior to that, you had to have some type of development disability, which means you had to see it. So that means you had some type of born with some type of impairment, either walking, seeing, hearing, and that's mostly what they surrounded this act on at first. But then they recognized that there are intellectual disabilities, which is what we focus on. So if you know anything about right now, how difficult is it to get your child off an electronic device? Okay. So we all know that that's the challenge, but it's also the effect of what I do because they have found the younger you are and you expose children to that, it slows them down as far as their intellect. Well, that is contributing to the 1 out of every 4 with a disability. The current population is 26.7% of us, population, United States wide, has some type of disability. And so, having said that, when you start to deal with that and understand that, the challenge, but also the great thing about it is, I don't know how to say this without being vain. It's like, there's still a lot of work to be done and that you still will be secured in your work because that population number will continue to go up. And so we're doing our part to try to offset that scale in any way we can to give them at the finish line or excuse me, have them start at the same place that you start with as much support that they can get to have a successful independent life.
I agree. I mean, I'm an educator. I see the classrooms full of a spectrum, and one of my colleagues says don't use the word spectrum. There's so many politically correct terms for, that I need to learn within the intellectual disabilities, in the wellness spaces, in the LGBTQ plus spaces. And, we
Mhm.
really have to be sensitive to people's needs, their perspectives, their identities, just the whole gamut. And it makes me think how fortunate we are to be able to collaborate with people like you said, Tina and Terry, and bring people who have different skill sets onto the scene so that we can create a space that is as inclusive, as equitable, as impacting as we're doing. And um I'm just grateful, really. I think about my own children and where their skill sets vary and how much time they're on their
Mhm.
devices. And I struggle to try to get them to do other things, to get outside, to get fresh air. Do you find that your students also have a tendency for like the technology and those things? Do you have, I know in our schools, they have these yonder pouches where they have to put their phones in. Are students allowed to use devices, or do you use technology? How does that work for you?
It's a good question. We have the same similar struggles. Remember, we are not talking about difference in people. They are still adults who want the same thing you want. They want a Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. I don't even know all of the platforms that are out there right now, but they want to do what they see everyone else doing. So they gravitate towards that too. They all have phones. Interestingly enough, I have three students who are nonverbal who have a phone, but they love to watch the videos, right? And they're visually they can see. They may can't communicate what their needs and wants are, but it's interesting that technology provides us opportunities to communicate with them, right? Because now we have apps, and so my nonverbal student, we're doing ASL, and he's on his phone texting me in sign language, and I'm texting him back in sign language. So I'd be the first to say I don't want to be a hypocrite that there are great success stories, opportunities, and definitely advantages to having technology. But when they're in the program, they're not allowed to use their phones until lunchtime or unless we're doing social hour, so that we can try and have as much of their attention on, not I want to say lesson, but on the activity at hand. And whatever activity we're doing, it usually requires all of their full attention. Also for safety reasons, is to make sure that they can see, hear us at whatever level, to pay attention so that we're aware that they hear us and know what they're supposed to be doing.
And speaking of, I know you're hesitant to call them lessons, but I think they are lessons. You say
Mhm.
activities, but whether you call them activities or lessons, the participants are learning. And I'm curious to
Absolutely.
know, do you have, because I'm thinking about students on all levels of ability and skill set, whether or not you do shorter lessons for them to be able to really pay attention. Like what is your time frame when you're working with the participants?
So it varies, again, person centered. We have some 3 minutes tops. We have some can go up to 30 minutes. Um, so it really depends on the individual. Each of the great coaches that I have, they are grouped according to the needs of the students. So most of our pervasive students, which are students that require much more support than my senior coaching staff would handle. Students that are more independent and require less support than probably my newer coaches will handle until they get more adapted into the legacy mission goals and plans, because they need to have an opportunity to learn how we work as an organization before taking on our most pervasive students. Um, the industry has recognized what we do now, so we're recognized as a professional. It's called a DSP certification, which is a direct support professional, and that's what our coaches are. So they're all are certified in this unique skill of providing direct support to others, which I think is a really big jump for our industry. is to recognize that we're not babysitters, healthcare workers, because not to put healthcare workers down, but that's not what we do. That direct support has some purpose to it, and there are lessons that we develop to make sure that our students get the best support services that they need or that they require for the goals they want to achieve.
That's beautiful. Um, I was just pulling up on my phone because I didn't want to mispronounce or misquote your recent because we're bringing you on today so that we can know about what services you provide, and not to
Mhm.
confuse them with other services as you mentioned, but to really see what's the best fit for participants who could possibly be a good fit for your program. And so this platform is designed to bring visibility to our Black entrepreneurs predominantly, and to really highlight the work that's being done that may not gain that same visibility. But you gained some visibility with Voyage LA. And I was like, okay, I see you, cousin. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So, Voyage LA, one of the editors, Alexa, yeah, reached out to me and said we were referred by one of our parents, and they thought we would make a great organization to interview because of the great work we've done. This is one of the parents that actually spoke at our fashion show and really simply stated we saved her daughter's life, which is an honor beyond honors of compliments you could ever receive. And the article was Meet Sandra Ann Johnson. And I asked them to change it to Meet Legacy Programs because I could not do this by myself. Um, I'm so grateful to my mom, Sonia, and my dad, Terry Dawson, who took the leap with me. They financially supported everything I wanted to do from the very beginning, emptied out their savings account, and wanted to really pour into me in ways that I couldn't pour into myself at the time, which was financially. And when she wrote the article, I wanted people to know not just the work we do, but the outcome. And in that article, it asks, very specific questions about similar to you. It's interesting. What are we doing? What are we doing looking forward? What are we doing? What makes us different? How did we get started? But more importantly, we provide support service to an underserved community. What like, if you're not on the planet to do nothing else, why wouldn't you? If you have an opportunity, I bet you any of your people that's watching right now, if you said financially, if you could support yourself and you could provide a service that would help the underserved community, would you do it? I guarantee you everyone in your chat room right now would say yes. I mean, that's what we're placed here to do, right? That's God's work is for us to provide support to one another and to serve God's people. So financially, if you could do it, why wouldn't you? And
I
that's what
love it.
legacy is all about. Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
beautiful, and I'm so, so proud. I know that, life throws us curveballs, and we have no choice but to learn how to survive. My dad, your uncle, was sitting here telling my baby about, and I was like, "We gotta do it again, and I need to record it." Him talking about how he woke up at 3 a.m. in the morning, him and his brothers and sisters, to go to pick cotton before going to school to get an education, and then
Mhm.
not having a good pair of shoes, but using cardboard and string to put on. And he thought he was smart because he got himself some tin because the cardboard wear out so quick. He said he didn't near electrocuted himself when the wet hit that tin. He said, "Oh, this ain't gonna work." He learned the hard way, but
Only
only
your
my
dad would
dad.
do that.
But he's gone through a lot of trials and tribulations. He'd share with her about how his best friend at 7 was lynched, and we came out to Los Angeles during the Great Migration to find a better life for they did,
Absolutely.
grandma and grandpa. And I feel honored that you and I and Tisha, and I mean all of our family, and that's everybody,
All of
that's
them.
why I wanted this platform, was to bring visibility. And I think I shared this with you, that it started when I went in to Google legacy programs, and you were at Market Street at the time, And I
Mhm,
couldn't find legacy programs when I did Google searches. I would put in, more and more, and I couldn't find it. And I
mhm,
said, this is not right. People need to know the amazing things that are happening there. And
mhm.
it made me want to bring all of our family onto a platform together. And I started creating a Padlet with everybody's businesses, and it kept, growing from there. But I think grandma and grandpa, and aunties and uncles and cousins and everyone will be really proud of the fact that we are doing heartfelt work. Grandpa, um, being in the church and being a reverend was following his calling, and here we are following our calling to serve people in our community. And so I'm curious, and you saying that I ask questions that they ask means I'm doing good interviews. So I'm happy about
Yes, you
that.
are. That's why it's easy to answer because I just did the article was came out January 21st.
Yeah,
Yeah, and very, very similar, very
I
similar.
love it. I love
Way
it.
to go, Miss Jen.
All right now. Thank you, cousin. So tell us, what does building, you've been through trials and tribulations, you're at this wonderful space in life. What does building a meaningful life and future truly mean to Sandra Ann Johnson?
Ooh, work-life balance.
Mm,
So,
talk about it. I need to take
well,
notes on this part. Go ahead.
here's the reality. Most of us will spend 60% of our life, if not 70, at work. It is not 50% because you got to commute to work, commute home. It's still considered work. Most of us bring home with work home with us mentally. We haven't deactivated ourselves once we walk through the door. There's some time that we got to process our day. And so that leaves you with 40% on a good week or 30% of making sure that you are balancing your life with your loved ones, with your health, with even yourself. So I'm working on that. It's something that I've struggled with. I've been a workaholic all of my life. And so at 60 this year, I'll be 60 this year, it is now starting to show up. It's starting to show up and wanting to go to bed at 6 p.m. as soon as I get home. It's showing up and not wanting to get up and go to work at 5 a.m. And so I want to, what it looks like for me is creating more of a 50-50 balance. I want to sway the pendulum back to where it's fine to go to work every day, but it's not all of who Sandra Ann Johnson is. There's so much more to me. And I have found the more I get in touch with myself, the better I am for myself and for others. Because when I walk through that door, I have to be my best self for the people that I support. This is a very mentally challenging job or career, to which I've been honored and blessed to have. But it does come with some wear and tear on the mind and body, and so
And
I
so I
want
want
to
to
create that
create that
balance
balance
a little bit
a little bit
more,
more,
and
and
continue to
continue to
enrich the
enrich the
lives that
lives
I
that I
have.
have.
That's
That's
what it looks like for me.
beautiful. I
Yeah.
can't agree with you more on a different phase comes with different, feelings towards rest and rejuvenation. And now I went to a birthday party on Saturday, and I was like, what could I get him for his birthday? And I was like, every time it's somebody's birthday, now I just want to get him a heating pad because our bones be aching. And I'm like, I think it's the best gift. I got your
How
uncle a
about
heating pad for
how
his
about I'll
birthday.
take one. My birthday's in December.
Okay.
Big 60th. Them Johnsons better get ready. Y'all all better be there. I'll take a heating pad. Now I don't want 60 heating pads. So if Jen
No,
is getting it, no one
I'm
else
getting
please
it.
get that.
Okay. And so you can get them in different sizes, cousin. You can get the small one, you get the big one. I got 3 different sizes.
I'm a big girl. I need more area to
The
cover.
big
Don't bring
one.
me no smalls of
Okay.
nothing.
And they
No
don't have
small,
them like they
medium.
used to. I got the old one that you have to put in that little pouch. You know how it always slides off, and it says
Yes.
you have to keep it on. You're always putting it in the pouch. Now they come, and I don't know if you saw Sweet Pea, Auntie Frances has the kind I wanted. And I was actually with cousin Pammy on our way back from Disneyland. I made her stop at CVS because we walked all over Disneyland. I said, I need a heating pad. And that's where I found the new ones. So I'm gonna get you the new heating pad for
There
your
you go. I'll
birthday.
take it.
So
I'll
you're
take it.
big 6-0,
I'll
and
take
I'll
those
be,
instant ice packs too. I'll take
oh,
those
those
too.
two. Yeah, you're right. I'll be the big 5-0 this year, and you'll be the big
Hey, now.
6-0. We are getting up there, aren't we? And you can't
Uh,
tell. Can you tell,
No,
audience? Come on, viewers.
come on.
Throw us our
That
flowers.
Johnson bloodline, let me tell you
Exactly.
something, it's got some pretty good genes.
So I want to share something with my viewers. So I want to share my screen. But before I switch gears, because I don't want you to leave. But before I switch gears, I want to thank you so much. For sharing your heart, for telling us not about work, but about a calling and how your vision came to life with a supportive team from Auntie and Uncle to Terry and Tina. The care, the intention, the impact behind legacy programs truly matter.
Mm,
And we are grateful for the work you're doing in the community
thank
in
you.
Los Angeles. So
Thank you.
thank you for being here and for the difference
Thank
that you're
you.
continuing to make. But you can't leave because I have to chat with you some more. Before I do my outro with the audience, I want to share my screen because I'm excited to share that I will be. Let's see, where is my screen share? I'm going to try the right one because I'm not. I have a tech support that comes and he helps me. But yesterday I did other stuff and I'm like, "Wait, why didn't I go over the share screen?" I'm gonna try this. Let's see what happens. Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, so it must be that I was muted during that slide. But I was saying that Dr. Boyce came to our family and how you weren't able to be there that day, but he talked for over an hour and a half, almost 2 hours, to our family about wealth and legacy. Ironically enough, he's always talking about legacy. And so this tomorrow, starting tomorrow through Sunday, is a 3-day event, the All Black National Convention Digital, and I will be one of the panelists, and I'll also have a breakout
Congratulations.
room. And so I'm going to share the link in the chat for anyone who's interested in getting their tickets. And if you are my people, you can get a 60% discount off on tickets for the event. And I'm really excited to, make connections with people who are like-minded. And if you're not familiar with Dr. Boyce, he's always talking about B1, and B1 means Black first, because we are fighting analysts' predictions about Black wealth being at a zero average in 2053. So I'm gonna drop on here. Okay. Yeah, you couldn't hear me, twin. Thank you. You couldn't hear me. So now I know when I share that screen. That's why I said my tech person, Mr. Riley, didn't know I needed to work on share screen. So that's my bad. But get your tickets. If you reach out to me directly, I will give you your 60% off. I see Mia's comment, Black don't crack. My sister Natasha talk about I'll take a heating pad. Y'all funny. Oh, I love it. Um, Okay, so wait, let me see. I wanted to also drop the Black on the Platform Legacy Programs link so that you can go on to Black on the Platform, you can search her through Legacy. You can go on and get the link to her social media handlers to get on the Facebook so you can catch the live. It was my lunch break in December, and I was doing my walk around my campus, and I was so excited to catch the birthday celebration breakdown where everybody was getting their birthday shout outs on. That was so much fun. I truly, truly enjoyed that. Is that something you do often?
Every month. We do that every month. We just did January birthdays last week. We haven't put those up yet, but we I will be putting those up this week. But yes, every month we go live for the birthday celebrations. We celebrate the students and staff once a month, whose ever birthday it is in that month. So they look forward to it. We have a great
That's
time.
awesome. That's awesome. A celebration of life. That is beautiful.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
do you have any closing remarks for our audience as I'm going to move you after you say your goodbyes? I'm going to move you to the green screen, but please don't leave because you are a hard woman to catch up with. Okay.
I am, and I am. I am. I again, I tell you that 70-30. I'm trying to swing it more. This year, I'm trying to get at least 65-35, then 60-40, then,
Yes. Yes. Slowly but
55.
surely. I'm the same way.
That's the goal.
I
That's the goal.
I did 3 Zooms back to back yesterday. I went from Mia's live to Dr. Boyce's book club, but in between that, I had to go to the Council of Black Administrators. I was like 3, and my daughters are like, "Okay, now is it our time?" But I do get in the time with them for homeschool, but they're like, "What about just us time?" Where it's
Right.
not about school and you being on our heads about chores and everything else. I went to sleep yelling at the kids, and then I was like, "I'm sorry.
Wow.
I'm sorry." But I get burnt out and tired, so I'm gonna take notes and try to do a better balance as well, um, so that I can yeah, but even my daddy was like, "I want you to ask, Sandra this or that." And I said, "Well, I'll ask her tomorrow when I" he said, "You gonna ask her on the show?" I said, "No, I'm gonna I'm gonna have her stay because she's a hard lady to catch up with." So yes, stay here.
Yes.
I'm
I'm
gonna
not
do my
going anywhere.
outro. Audience, give your love and well wishes as I transition, and let's hope y'all can hear me. Let me know, twin, if you can't hear me, because all right, here you go. I'm sending you to the back as I do my outro, and thank you again for being here.
You're welcome. Thank you for the opportunity.
Absolutely.
God bless everyone.
All right. She said, God bless everyone. I don't know if you guys could hear her because I think if I did it right, she would be muted when I go to do my outro. Because I saw on the last one with Lawrence, one of my sisters, Deshawn, was like, I can hear you rapping. I was like, that wasn't rapping. I thought I was muted. So if you enjoyed our session today, please connect with Sandra, and I'll drop that one more time in the chat. Thank you, twin. And if you have anybody that would be a great participant, please reach out to Legacy Programs. And if you're interested in joining the ABNC Digital, it's a live virtual experience focused on wealth strategy, ownership, and legacy building, ironically enough. It will begin this weekend. So go ahead and make sure you get your tickets and don't buy those tickets till you reach out to me. You can, if you want that discount code, you can reach out to me if you already have my number. Otherwise, you can reach out to me by email and I'll put that on the screen as well. JanetBlackOnThePlatform.com. All right, now for my outro. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you never miss a powerful story. If you're ready to share your own story, visit blackontheplatform.com to join our growing community of Black owned brilliance. I'm Jen S., your concierge of connection, reminding you visibility creates opportunity, and we're here to help you shine. Until next time, say it with me, stay bold, stay Black, and always stay building. Take care, family.